Hey folks, this one's called Facebook Satanists #2, Fake Stream Media. Facebook has violated international law, Facebook is engaged in war crimes, and Facebook is engaged in crimes against humanity. Facebook PIGs. Copies of these documents can be found in my private group at Yahoo called Administrating Your Public Servants. I have YouTube videos that are videos of private information shared that show these and other court citations that are available for donation. Donations to support this work are appreciated. I prefer gold or silver coin, but as an extremely less desirable alternative, I can accept the IOUs, the Federal Reserve notes, the PayPal gifts, the checks, the money orders. Send me an email for particulars. Facebook is supporting fake news in the mainstream media. Facebook Satanists PIGs and their NSA PIG handlers. Facebook is suppressing free speech in favor of the New World Order crowd handlers. Facebook is engaged in war crimes, coercing the collection of information. Facebook engaged in war crimes against humanity because they're persecuting people for their political beliefs. Persecuting anybody who fails to be a communist, really, is what it is. This is Article 1 of the Liber Code. A place, district, or country occupied by an enemy stands in consequence of the occupation under the martial law of the invading or occupying army, whether any proclamation declaring martial law or any public warning to the inhabitants has been issued or not. Martial law is the immediate and direct effect and consequence of occupation or conquest. The presence of a hostile army proclaims its martial law. So that means that all the southern states are under martial law. All of the territory conquered by the Treaty of Hidalgo was under martial law. Actually, everywhere it can be shown that everywhere west of the original 13 colonies is under martial law. This is Article 2 of the Liber Code. Martial law does not cease during a hostile occupation except by special proclamation ordered by the Commander-in-Chief or by special mention in the Treaty of Peace concluding the war, when the occupation of a place or territory continues beyond the conclusion of peace as one of the conditions of the same. So there's been no proclamations, and there's nothing mentioned like in the Treaty of Hidalgo. It doesn't say anything. It's got to be special mention in the Treaty of Peace. It's got to be mentioned that the martial law ceases. There's nothing in the Treaty of Hidalgo or any of these other treaties that says anything about the martial law ending. So the martial law, the military occupation extends or continues to this day. That's a dictatorship, folks. Check out my other videos. Martial law is here, has been for decades. We're under martial law. Martial law is coming from the UN. Alberta and other Canadian states is under military occupation. Texas and other American states are under a military occupation. Martial law supersedes and replaces common law. Founding fathers understood all of this. This is taken from the Causes and Necessities for Taking Up Arms, 1775. Statutes have been passed extending the courts of admiralty and vice admiralty far beyond their ancient limits, for depriving us of the accustomed and inestimable privilege of trial by jury in cases affecting both life and property, to supersede the course of common law and instead thereof to publish and order the use and exercise of the law martial, and for altering fundamentally a form of government established by charter. We saw the misery to which such despotism, that's dictatorship, folks, would reduce us. This is a cite from the non-ratification of the 14th Amendment by Judge A.H. Ellett, and he says basically the same thing as they said in the Causes and Necessities for Taking Up Arms, but he says it in a little bit different way. And he says, in the meantime, civil law was the form of law imposed in the Roman Empire, which was largely, if not wholly, governed by the martial law rule. Equity has always been understood to follow the law. To have superior equity is to turn things on their head. This is exactly what happens when martial law is imposed. If equity is the law, then it follows its own course rather than following common law, thereby destroying common law and leaving what's called equity in its place. That's why these Baal priests, these satanic so-called judges, can sit there in their so-called court and say that the Constitution doesn't apply in here, and I don't want to hear another word about it. Or the common law doesn't apply in here, and I don't want to hear another word about it. There is no common law offenses in the United States, only those acts which Congress has forbidden with penalties for disobedience of its command or crimes, okay? Because under martial law, there is no law, okay? And so they have to pass statutes for common law crimes like murder, assault, things like that. And otherwise, they could do all of that stuff. Under Texas law, no act or omission is a crime unless made so by statute. The legislature may create an offense and in the same enactment provide exceptions to its application. Again, Texas is the same way, every state in the Union. Arizona, all common law offenses and affirmative defenses are abolished. Okay? And so, again, no common law. It's all martial law. And the common law only so far as it is consistent with and adapted to the natural and physical conditions of this state and the necessities of the people thereof, and not repugnant or inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States or the Constitution or laws of the state, or established by customs of the people of the state, is adopted and shall be the rule of decision in all courts in the state. Boy, put in all those wheretofores and everything, and that means that common law doesn't apply. Lets these liars lay awake at night dreaming this stuff up. Everything's an admiralty. A writ of error doth not lie upon a sentence and an admiralty, but an appeal. And this is Book 4 of the Institutes and the Laws of England. Tomlin's Law Dictionary, 1835 edition is where it's found, but they're citing Book 4 of the Institutes and the Laws of England, which is Coke back in the 1500s. Appeals are an admiralty. That's why it's called a court of appeals. Hello? It's the same thing that precipitated the War of Independence. Police use military rank structures, captain, lieutenant, sergeant. Military script circulates for money. Federal Reserve notes, Bank of Canada notes, Bank of England notes, military uniforms used by police, judges, etc. The wearing of clerical dress or religious habit on the part of layfolk is liable to the same penalty on the part of the states as the misuse of the military uniform. That's Article 10 of the Concordat of 1933 between the Roman cult and Hitler. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to follow me on Steemit. Don't forget to like this video on YouTube. Don't forget to click the bell next to the subscribe button so you're notified when there's a new upload on Steemit. Don't forget to vote and make your comments. And there's also a BitChute profile. This is my YouTube channel. And I'm going to be starting to move everything over to Minds. And so I would suggest you start checking out my profile on Minds. I don't have a link to it yet. But I have it, but it's just I don't have it in this video. Anyways, the arrow is pointing at the bell. The subscribe button's already clicked, otherwise it'll be red. The bell, you have to click it, and it'll pop-up will come up, and you have to check a box and click OK to be notified about uploads, and then the bell will look like it's ringing. This is Steemit. The left button is where you do the upvotes. The middle button, or the middle arrow, is where the number of upvotes that this article has received, and the right arrow is where you can make comments, and all of that's good on Steemit. And this is also Steemit. The arrow is pointing at the crypto wallet profile. You click that with your mouse, see the hand there, and a little window comes down, and you can follow or unfollow somebody. We now live in a nation where doctors destroy health, lawyers destroy justice, universities destroy knowledge, governments destroy freedom, the press destroys information, religion destroys morals, and our banks destroy the economy. Well, that's all symptoms of martial law, folks. All the territory west of the territory described in the Royal Proclamation of 1763, which is the original 13 colonies, is under a military occupation. All of the southern states during the Civil War is under military occupation. All the territory captured with the war with Mexico is under military occupation. And the convention shall also apply in all cases of partial or total occupation of the territory of a high contracting party, even if the said occupation meets with no armed resistance. That's Article 2 of the Geneva Convention relative to the protection of civilians in a time of war of 1949. And that's in reference to these Facebook Satanist pigs and their NSA pig handlers. No physical or moral coercion shall be exercised against protected persons, in particular to obtain information from them or from third parties. Well, Facebook is coercing information out of you and then selling it to third parties. That's a war crime, folks. This is Article 31 of the Geneva Convention, relative to the protection of civilians in a time of war of 1949. They intend to engage in war crimes by coercing me to give information in violation of Article 31 of the Geneva Convention relative to the protection of civilians in the time of war of 1949. Facebook is engaging in propaganda for lies to promote their war agenda. This is Article 20, Clause 1 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. Any propaganda for war shall be prohibited. And there's a bought and paid for media. Facebook is destroying the postings of people because of their political beliefs. Any destruction by the occupying power of real or personal property belonging individually or collectively to private persons or to the state or to other public authorities or to social or cooperative organizations is prohibited. And so except where such destruction is rendered absolutely necessary by military operations. Well, sorry, but there's no military operations going on Facebook. Facebook is destroying property. This is Article 53 of the Geneva Convention. Facebook is persecuting people because of their political opinions. The protected persons are entitled in all circumstances to respect for their persons, their honor, their family, and their religious convictions and practices and manners and customs. Without prejudice to the provisions relating to their state of health, age, and sex, all protected persons shall be treated with the same consideration by the party to the conflict in whose power they are, without any adverse distinction based in particular on race, religion, or political opinion. That's Article 27 of the Geneva Convention. Facebook pigs discriminate based on political opinion. Each state party to the present convention undertakes to respect and ensure in all individuals within its territories and subject to its jurisdiction the rights recognized in the present covenant without distinction of any kind, such as race, color, sex, language, religion, political or other opinion, national or social origin, property, birth, or other status. And that's the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. Facebook pigs are discriminating based on political opinion. All persons shall be equal before the law and entitled without any discrimination or equal protection of the law, and respect the law shall prohibit it, any discrimination, and guarantee to all persons equal and effective protection against discrimination on any ground such as race, color, sex, language, religion, political, or other opinion, national or social origin, property, birth, or other status. And so they're based on, is discriminating based on political opinions. Facebook pigs discriminate because of opinions. Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Everyone has the right to freedom of opinion and expression. This right includes freedom to hold opinions without interference and to seek, receive, and impart information and ideas through any media, regardless of frontiers. Gee, that sounds like Facebook. Facebook pigs discriminate because of political opinion. Everybody's entitled to all the rights, freedoms set forth in this declaration without distinction of any kind, such as race, color, sex, language, religion, political, or other opinion, and national or social origin. Furthermore, no distinction shall be made on the basis of the political, jurisdictional, or international status of the country or territory to which a person belongs, whether it be independent trust, non-governing, under any other limitation of sovereignty. Gee, that sounds like occupied territory. That's the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 2. Facebook pigs may not do anything to destroy these rights. Nothing in this declaration may be interpreted as implying for any state, group, person, or any right to engage in any activity or to perform any act aimed at the destruction of any of the rights and freedoms set forth herein. And that's the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Crimes against humanity. Now, this is the Rome Statute. I know this video is going to be watched by people in a lot of different countries. The U.S. has not acceded to the Rome Statute, but you can still make these arguments if you can find a judge that wants to really be a judge and not a bought and paid for clerk. As everyone I've run into has been a bought and paid for clerk. And so if you can find one, you can make the arguments. If you're not in the U.S. and you're in a country that is acceded to the Rome Statute, you can bring it into the International Criminal Court, file a criminal complaint, and bring heat down on these pigs from heights they can't possibly imagine. Crimes against humanity. For purposes of this statute, crime against humanity means any of the following acts when committed as part of a widespread and systematic attack directed against any civilian population with knowledge of the attack. Persecution against any identifiable group, collectively on political, racial, national, ethnical, cultural, religious, gender, as specified in paragraph 3. So, again, any identifiable group, anybody that's not communist, okay? The Facebook pigs block postings by people that are not communists. Crimes against humanity, this is Canada. Crimes Against Humanity and War Crimes Act of Canada. So this is stuff that Canada has acceded to the Rome Statute. So you can bring heat down on them from the government of Canada and from the International Criminal Court. means persecution or any other inhumane act or omission that is committed against any civilian population or any identifiable group, and at the time and in the place of its commission constitutes a crime against humanity. Definitions of this subsection apply to this act. Conventional international law means any convention, treaty, or other international agreement that is in force and to which Canada is a party, or that is in force and the provisions of which Canada has agreed to accept and apply in any armed conflict in which it is involved. International Criminal Court means international criminal court established by the Rome Statute. Some shills and trolls are saying that Facebook is private, and so therefore they can do anything they want, but that's a bunch of crap. Okay, all corporations are agents of the government for those brain-dead idiots, shills and trolls. Every corporation, for all its purposes, is an agent of Her Majesty and Right of Canada, and the same thing applies in the U.S. or any country that sets up the corporation. Why do you think that these corporations are tax collectors for the government? Because they're agents, you stupid idiots! Vid.me shut down on 15 December and YouTube channel called Sovereignty International is terminated. I made the exclusive content available on my website, but you will need a Google account to set it up. I have 2 subscription levels. I accept cryptocurrencies. The basic subscription level is $2.99 a month or $19.99 a year for videos only, and you have to do an annual subscription if you want to do cryptocurrencies because the fees for transferring cryptos around make it so that it's cost prohibitive. Okay, so for a monthly subscription with cryptocurrencies, the platinum subscription is $4.99 a month or $39.99 a year for the videos plus unlimited consultations. Now, when I say unlimited consultations, there's some restrictions on that because I'm not a liar. I meant an attorney. No, I meant a liar. But I can tell you what I would do under certain circumstances and where to find the forms. Now, there's also other limitations. You're still expected to watch the videos and to do your due diligence, and it certainly doesn't give you permission to email me 5 times a day. Okay, unlimited consultations means you can email me and I'll help you, but do your due diligence. I'm not a babysitter. Okay, we're all here because of our ignorance, okay? And the root word of ignorance is ignore. And so we need to do our due diligence. I provided everything that you need. If you need a little bit of help, I don't mind helping you, but you don't be emailing me 5 times a day. The only power that these New World Order Satanists have over us is through fraud and deception, and my agenda is to expose it for all our benefit, and I cannot fight all the battles. So I need people that know the law and that are bringing up the right issues and that are laying a foundation. And so if you want to just do a subscription just as a donation, then that's great. It's appreciated. It's a modest donation. There's no doubt about it. But a whole bunch of people chipping in a little bit adds up pretty fast. So it's appreciated. I'm currently publishing 1 video a week. Some of my exclusive content is Arlington Private Information Share. That's 9 videos by itself. I have land deed training. I got estoppel certificates training. I actually have a couple land deed training videos. I got foreclosure estoppel certificates training. I got corporate denial training. I got toll roads notice and demand training. I got invoice training, notice of void judgment training, revocation of signature training, third-party witness training, federal habeas corpus training, revocation of voter registration training, and I've got a couple criminal complaint training videos. There'll probably be more as I come up with more ideas on things that need to be considered. And lawsuit training I'm still working on. That's upcoming. And other training requests are certainly, I'm open to other training requests or other video requests of anybody that might have something that they want to know about. But I think I've covered almost everything, and I really don't want to repeat myself. I don't think you guys like me repeating myself, and so I try and just make a video on one topic that covers everything related to that topic. And that's why there's a lot of related stuff from one topic to another, so you see a lot of duplicate things going across. But I'm trying to make a video that completely covers a topic, so I don't have to make another video on that topic. Anyways, all forms, files, and other instructions are available for free on my 2 private groups at Yahoo Groups and Google Groups. And so these training videos and stuff are actually above and beyond. And so all exclusive content will be on my website at www.sovereigntyinternational.fyi, and you can buy a subscription there. So, Facebook, Satanist PIGs, and their NSA PIG handlers have blocked access to a Facebook profile until I provided a name and removed a pseudonym as part of their agenda to engage in war crimes by coercing the collection of information in violation of Article 31 of the Geneva Convention relative to the protection of civilians in a time of war, 1949. Facebook coerces the collection of dates of birth to fabricate evidence of their slaves in support of their NSA PIG handlers. And then they want you to put your wife down and your brother and your sister and your kids so they can, again, sell that information to their NSA PIG handlers. Any society that would give up a little liberty to gain a little security will deserve neither and lose both. And he was dead on. My opinion is, and has long been, that the mayor and aldermen of a city corporation, or the president directors of a bank, or the president directors of a railroad company, or other similar corporations are true parties that sue and are sued as trustees and representatives of the constantly changing stockholders. A corporation, therefore, being not a natural person but a mere creature of the mind, invisible and intangible, cannot be a citizen of a state or of the United States, and cannot fall within the terms or the power of the above-mentioned article, and can therefore neither plead nor be impleaded in the courts of the United States. That's U.S. Supreme Court, 1852. So, the board of directors for these Facebook pigs is Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO pig, Sheryl Sandberg, the chief she's chief operating officer pig, Mark Andreessen, one of the pigs, Erskine Bowles, a pig, Kenneth Chenault, a pig, Susan Desmond Hellman, a pig, Reed Hastings, a pig, Jan Koum, a pig, Peter Thiel, a pig, and K. Ram Shiraram. Well, that's quite a handle, pig. Anyways, their address is 1601 Willow Road in Menlo Park, California, at the federal zip code 94025, and that's where you sue them, okay? You sue them personally in their private capacity because they're the ones that are responsible for this. But you can also go beyond that, and you can go after the Facebook executive officers, okay? Chris Cox, the chief product officer, pig, Mike Schroepfer, the chief technology officer, pig, Dave Weiner, the chief financial officer, pig, and then back to the chief operating officer, Sheryl Sandberg, pig, and Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO, pig. And so Zuckerberg and Sandberg are cowards and think they can hide behind their criminal corporation. Zuckerberg and Sandberg are compelling the disclosure of information that is none of their business and then selling that information to the CIA pig handlers and their NSA pig handlers. I've been to the U.S. Supreme Court 5 times, and they obviously intend to be next. My blog is sovereigntyinternational.wordpress.com. My website is sovereigntyinternational.fyi. My email address is engineerwin@yahoo.com. My YouTube profile is Sovereign Living. My Facebook community page, I deleted it due to censorship on the part of the Facebook pigs. My private group, Sovereignty International, is being deleted. I'm not going to let these Facebook pigs profit from my hard work. My Yahoo private group is called Administrating Your Public Servants. My Google private group is called Administrating Your Public Servants. Follow me on Twitter at Engineer Win. Follow me on Steemit at Sovereignty International, and I have a BitChute profile, and I have also a Minds profile. I just don't have it here. Facebook Satanist pigs and their NSA pig handlers hired thousands of left-wing communist radicals to provide censorship. They intend to deny free speech by the alternative media. They intend to obstruct real news from getting out to people. They intend to aid and abet the criminal activity by the Communist News Network and other failing mainstream media outlets. We are grateful to the Washington Post, the New York Times, Time Magazine, and other great publications whose directors have attended our meetings and respected the promises of discretion for almost 40 years. It would have been impossible for us to develop our plan for the world if we had been subject to the bright lights of publicity during those years. But the world is now more sophisticated and prepared to march toward a world government. The supranational sovereignty of an intellectual elite and world bankers is surely preferable to the national autodetermination practiced in past centuries. And that's David Rockefeller in an address to the Trilateral Commission meeting in June of 1991. And this is all coming from the Roman cult, folks. Capital must protect itself in every way through combination and through legislation. Okay, combination means sneaking and lies and all sorts of stuff. Debts must be collected and loans and mortgages foreclosed as soon as possible. When through a process of law the common people have lost their homes, they will be more tractable and more easily governed by the strong arm of the law applied by the central power of wealth under control of leading financiers. People without homes will not quarrel with their leaders. This is well known among our principal men now engaged in forming an imperialism of capital to govern the world. By dividing the people, we can get them to expend their energies in fighting over questions of no importance to us, except as teachers of the common herd. Thus, by discreet action, we can secure for ourselves what has been generally planned and successfully accomplished. And that's the Bankers' Manifesto of 1934, taken from the New American in February of 1934. So the bankers' negotiable instrument law is a subset of Roman law. Mortgages are found in Roman law. United Nations is a municipal corporation under Roman law. Municipal law is Roman law. Roman law is the Roman cult. International law was started by the Roman cult and is a subset of canon law. See the international law video. They that give up essential liberty to obtain a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. When injustice become law, then resistance become duty. Necessity is the plea for every infringement of human freedom. It is the argument of tyrants, and it is the creed of slaves. And that's William Pitt's speech in the House of Commons in November 18, 1783. The Facebook Satanist pigs and their NSA pig handlers. Check out my other videos: Bankster Thieves Playlist, Roman Cult Playlist, Bankrupt Corporate So-Called Governments, Bar Members 1 through 3, Do-It-Yourself How Not to Volunteer for the Selective Service in the Draft, Martial Laws Here, Do-It-Yourself No Income Tax, Do-It-Yourself Free Mail, Do-It-Yourself Kangaroo Courts 1 through 15, Canada Border Pigs Playlist, Bar Members and their Satanic Connections Playlist. For it is the truth that when the experience of ages has attested that the people are always the most in danger when the means of injuring their rights are in the possession of those whom they entertain the least suspicion. And that's Alexander Hamilton in Federalist Paper number 25. I prefer dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery. Boycott these Facebook Satanist pigs. Use other socialist social networks rather than Facebook. Use Snapchat, Pinterest, Instagram, Minds, etc. There's lots of them. File lawsuits against Google, the Facebook. Actually, this should be Facebook. Executive officers and board of directors in their personal capacity. File criminal complaints for war crimes and crimes against humanity against these Facebook executive officers, board of directors in their personal capacity. We have all the arguments. You have all the arguments that you need in this video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.